That was a huge regulation win for the Montreal Canadiens. Now, I'm not celebrating yet because the Habs have 4 massive games against this same team next week, and it will determine which of us make the playoffs, no doubt. But this win is massive in extending our lead against the Flames for fourth in the North Division. It puts the Habs record to 19, 13, and 9 on the season. We're now 6 points ahead of the Flames with those 3 games in hand. But man, thank you, Tyler Toffoli and Yoel Armia, as well as Nick Suzuki, for being the only line tonight that got up on the board offensively. The Calgary Flames made this an extremely difficult game to play. Their forecheck was heavy. Their back check was heavy. They did great, with their battles along the boards, winning the 50-50 battles, and the effort level was extremely high for them. They played such a strong game defensively. Both teams played great defensively tonight. A lot of play happened in the neutral zone. And Jake Allen, thank God we have him as a backup. If we did not have Jake Allen and instead had a backup of the quality that we've had, the previous 3 years, at this point in the season, regardless of this North Division that we're in, the Habs would be screwed badly. Jake makes, I think it was 28 out of 29 saves tonight. Hell of a performance. The goalposts helped him out a bit tonight, but they helped Markstrom out in the game previous. But no doubt, a clutch performance from Jake Allen, who has been our starter for at least the last week or a little more with Carey Price being out. And that's a big win for him, despite, again, not getting the goal support as a whole. It'll be interesting to see who starts tomorrow night against the Ottawa Senators. We have them on a back-to-back. Could Caden Primo get a start, or is Carey Price ready, or do they throw Jake Allen back into the fire? So we'll have to keep an eye out and see how that plays out. But I mean, this game tonight with Calgary playing it as tight as they did, and the Habs as well playing it tight. I'm so glad that this Habs team was able to come out on top in a game like this, because for the Flames to win, they need to play like this. And every time they have played us this season, this is how they've played. But they've really tightened it up under Coach Daryl Sutter these last couple weeks here. It took them a while to adjust, but they've done it. And it's going to be a really, really intense 4-game series against them next week. Cannot say enough about that. But in the first period, it's Tyler Toffoli who gets on the board for the Habs. And this is after some, continuous ozone pressure by the Montreal Canadiens. And it was Yoel Armia behind the net doing a lot of the heavy lifting back there. He kept a couple different plays alive, including behind the net there, with some really slick puck handling that led to a chance. And then the Habs extend it. They keep the puck in at the point, and that's Brett Kulak. It finds its way to Nick Suzuki, who then finds Tyler Toffoli just skating into the slot alone. He makes no mistake and snipes it over the glove of Jacob Markstrom. Then we go into the second period, and again, tightly contested, lots of neutral zone play. Both teams have their, a chance here and there, but, nothing incredibly dangerous outside of a Matthew Tkachuk chance that hit the post with him rushing in with a ton of speed. Going to the third, though, and the Calgary Flames tie it up about midway through. It's Lindholm that gets the goal after a Shea Weber giveaway or lost battle behind the net. So I know that the Shea Weber haters are going to be eating that up and would have been if we had gone on to lose that game. But the thing is, tons of goals are scored in the NHL. And unless it's elite talent that is unstoppable no matter what, which happens from time to time, the reason why goals get scored in the NHL is that players on the opposition make a mistake. That's just how it works. And unfortunately, when you play as many minutes as Shea Weber does, he's going to be out there for a mistake here and there. Now, I know they're piling up these last few games, but outside of that one little mistake where it's a lost battle, he played a hell of a game tonight defensively, and his passes up the ice. I know he had a couple giveaways in the first period in the defensive zone, and he could be better. The whole team can be better. But again, this is another game where the Habs only scored 2 goals. And the forwards have to do a much better job of executing and getting points up on the board. We can blame Shea Weber. He's the captain. He should take, the heat because that's his role. But for us to win games, they have to start scoring goals at a much more consistent basis. And when your offense, ideally, because of the way the Habs are built, is coming from 4 lines, we have to see these lines getting up on the board consistently. At least 2 lines need to be going on any given night. We can't be relying on one or the other if we want to win games. Anyway, Toffoli ends up getting the game-winning goal, and this was, a quick rush up the ice, and Suzuki and Armia pick up the assists on this one, and Armia just a really quick play chasing the puck down, and he feeds it into the slot, and Toffoli happens to get his stick on it, goes right past the shoulder of Jacob Markstrom, and that's a tough goal for the Calgary Flames, because they needed this game, and they know they needed this game, but unfortunately, they did not get it. Now, stats on the night, Montreal gets outshot 29-20. Face-off dot, we were also the lesser team, again against the Flames, but much better than the game, a couple nights previous. 53-47 with the Habs at 47. Suzuki was 50% in the draw tonight, so that's a win. Mind you, he only took 6 draws. KK was just under 50%, and Deneau, tough night for him, probably facing Monahan quite a bit, who's great in the draw. Eric Staal, he won 3 out of 4 draws, so as much as he has not been overly impressive, in most areas of the ice, in the face-off dot, when we need him, he comes in and does his job. Now, I really don't understand why we inserted him into the top 6 when we first got him. I would have hoped that the Montreal Canadiens, as a hockey, program, would have known he was not built for the way that the Habs play if he was going to be in that role. So I'm a little disappointed that they did that. The only way I can maybe justify it is that he's such a well-respected and traveled and seasoned veteran that maybe they didn't want to start off his tenure or stay in Montreal just sticking him right into the bottom 6. Maybe they just wanted to show him some respect, throw him in the top 6, and then eventually put him down if he didn't can earn the spot. And that's what we've seen happen. He's now in on the 4th line, and that's where he absolutely should be. Now, mind you, he's still struggling there. I don't know if it's like he just has a little lost on the time and space that he thinks he has at the NHL level. He'll go for like a spinorama move and not realize he's getting pressured, and the guy's just going to come steal the puck away from him. Then you have a giveaway. So I'm not overly thrilled with the play of Eric Staal, other than in the faceoff dot and other than on the forecheck, because he's such a big body. He can retrieve the pucks and win the battles. He's pretty good with the veteran poise in the battles to know when the puck's going to squirt out and how to get it right off the bat. But I really like how Jake Evans is playing. I like his foot speed. I like that he has some unexplored offensive creativity and potential there. Plus, he is part of the future. You'd like to see him playing. I feel like he's earned that spot on the 4th line, but then you take a step back in terms of face-off. So gonna have to leave it up to the coaches, but let me know what you guys think. Jake Evans or Eric Staal? I'm curious, but I have a feeling what most of you are going to say. Habs go 0 for 2 on the power play. And in general, just struggling as of late on the man advantage. Unfortunately, seems like they're falling back into old habits. And the thing that just bothers me the most is that they take low danger chances once they have established pressure. Don't waste your possession. We saw it the other night with Jeff Petrie. He just starts to walk into the center of the ice and take a slap shot into traffic. You have to hope that, for one, it gets through the traffic, and then it beats the goalie. And I know pucks on net, pucks in deep, bang away in front of the net, but that's just not how power plays work in today's NHL. Keep the possession. In my example that I just mentioned, Petrie the other night, he had Tatar wide open to his right. Just keep passing it. Keep getting them penalty killers moving. Work it down low behind the net. Make those penalty killers condense towards the net. Then you work it back up to the point, and you got a ton of room up there. You spread them back out again. You just get them moving. You get them off their game. You don't take a low danger chance like we saw tonight with we work the puck down low to Tyler Toffoli. Immediately, he just starts trying to jam the puck past Jacob Markstrom. There's just no deception there. And again, it led to Calgary retrieving it, dumping it, and then we spend time trying to enter the zone. And it's just wasted power play time. And we're going to get less power plays the more that we inch towards the playoffs. That's just how it works. The rules seem to change. So when you get them, you need to make them count. So don't waste them, especially once you have possession, because it's hard to get that puck into the O zone with established pressure and with time and space with the puck. So once you have that, don't waste it on a low danger shot. Get those east-west passes going. And I'm seeing this Habs team, again, being scared to make mistakes and not take risks. I would much rather see them take a risk on a cross-seam pass through traffic than to take a risk just slap-shotting it into traffic. Because if you make that risky pass through the seam and through the slot, then you might end up with a one-timer that will be in the back of the net. It could get deflected and gone down the other end of the ice, but that's the chance you take. Something has to be done with this power play. 2 for 2 on the penalty kill, though, and that's an area of the game that the Habs have needed to improve, and it has been improving, so it's good to see there. 30-18 hits. The Habs dominate the physical play yet again. But that does also point to the Calgary Flames having, control of the possession for a good portion of this game. In terms of the 5-on-5 back and forth, the edge for me, for at least the first 40 to 50 minutes, was the Flames, no doubt. The Habs were giving the puck away all over the ice, sometimes uncontested. And the Flames did a lot more with their offensive zone possession than what the Habs did for most of that game. And we're even with blocks, 22-22. So both teams, clearly buying in and sacrificing the body for a win that both teams needed tonight. Sherratt, most used Habs defenseman tonight with 22 minutes. He played a great game outside of that Calgary Flames tying goal, bouncing off his leg and going into the back of the net. Glad the team was able to rally and get a win in his return. Josh Anderson, most used forward with 18.55, and the most used center was Phil Deneau with 18.22. But I love that just behind him at the center ice position, Suzuki and Kotkaniemi with about an even amount of ice time, so at 16 minutes. So I'm glad these guys are getting utilized in the role that they should have had for most of the season up until now. That's all I got to say, guys. We got another big one tomorrow against the Ottawa Senators. We know how they play. They're tough to play against. They've got Shane Pinto debuting for them tomorrow night, so he's going to be fired up to go. The team's going to be fired up to play a good game for him and maybe even try to get him up on the board here. So we'll have to keep an eye out and see who's going to be starting for the Habs. Who do you think it should be? Let me know down in the comments. And if you like these videos, hit that like and subscribe button. And of course, follow me on Twitter @SCOTIANCANADIEN. Cheers, guys. Go Habs, go, baby!